Pop-ups, wafters, snowmen, forget all that, because today we have some supermarket specials. Other supermarkets available. From beans and tuna to nude ankle-high tights. It's safe to say that today could get a little messy. There's a joke in there somewhere about hot, spicy tuna smelling tights. That's right, today I'm going to be using some supermarket alternatives, and some of them you would have seen before and others you may not have. And that's where the tights will come into play. But let's bring you up to speed of where I am and what the plan is today. I am at Shearwater, not a new venue for the channel, but it is rather different to the last time I fished it because the water level has been raised back up since they've done all the work on the dam wall, which means more of the lake is accessible and I can now fish on the opposite bank to the road, which is exactly where I am. Now, the swim that I've chosen to fish has quite a lot of vegetation in front of it because when the water level was down, the banks started to reclaim the land which once was inhabited by the water. Now the water's back, some of that grass is in there. So my setup does look a bit European with the tips up in the air, but it's so I can fish this swim effectively. And there are swims that don't have this in them, but there's a lot of fish up here on the shallower end of the lake and the closest to the shallows I can get to before it becomes like a football field of all the vegetation in the margins. So that's why I'm fishing here. And although the rods aren't out yet, I have started fishing. Now what I mean by that is I've put some bait out. I got the marker rod, I had a little cast about, found the clear area which is out in front of me before it goes silty. And when I got into the swim, there was fish milling around in all this grass in front of me. So I know that they're going to be nice and close in, but I don't want to be too far out because I want a controlled environment of how I'm fishing today. And also I like the baiting up strategy of just chucking the bait out by hand or using the catapult nice and close in. So that's exactly what I've done. And that was probably getting close to an hour ago now. I've now got the rods set up. A fish has just rolled at the range that I've baited up. So I think some fish have moved in, which is a good plus point of baiting and waiting without putting the rods in because they start feeding and there's no pressure on them. But let's talk a bit more about the test that we're going to be doing today because I have a Tesco bag here. As I said in the intro, other supermarkets are available full of alternative hook baits. I'm keeping everything the same. The spot I'm fishing, the bait I've pre-baited with is just 15mm buoys. So yes, you could say, oh, I'm still using mainstream baits now. This venue has a lot of fish in it and I want to get them into my swim, and the best way of doing that is giving them some good grub. So I have pre-baited, another fish has just rolled right where I'm going to be fishing. I don't think it's going to be long to get a bite. And then it's just going to be the hook baits that I'm changing. So in here are a variety of different hook baits. Some you will have seen before and others I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have done. So pepperami, you can't go wrong with a bit of pepperami. It's something that I love myself. Not that I've had much of it because it leaves your breath stinking for at least 3 months, but that is a very good alternative hook bait, which isn't that popular anymore because, as most people, we tend to stick out, match the hatch buoys approach, which one of the rods is going to be doing for the rest of today. So we've got a bit of a comparison between a conventional hook bait to some of these alternatives. Moving on, we've then got cannellini beans. I think that's how you pronounce them. They're white to the high vis. I don't know if these float actually, that could be an issue, but we'll see how they perform. I'm thinking they're going to be mainly for the visual aspect of them, but from talking to the guys in the tackle shop yesterday, I think cannellini beans used to be used for drying them out, soaking them in your own hook bait additives. Another fish is just rolling in front of me, and maybe doing your own colourings, so that's quite interesting. Then we move on to another bait. Again, I've never caught a fish on a prawn before. Never really even used prawns. I know they're good for perch. There are perch in here, so there's probably a chance of getting a perch on this session. But I'm going to be using prawns. They're quite soft, so that's another reason for why I'm fishing quite close in today, is that some of these hook baits are a bit softer than the buoy that I'll be using. So I don't want to be cast really far and then not have a hook bait on the end. Now you may be wondering why I have a pair of tights with me. There is good reason. Don't worry, I'm not going to be wearing these on today's session. If that's something you want to see in the future, this video needs to get at least 1,000 likes. So there you are. And the reason for that is because the baits I'm about to show you, like cat food, which is actually Purina's Gourmet Gold with salmon, quite soft, stinky, but it's not going to stay on the hair unless I wrap it in something. Same again for John West tuna. Now what I quite like about the look of this one is that this is infused with chili and garlic. So it's fishy, but also a bit spicy and stinky. And lastly, anchovies. Again, a hook bait I've never used. Other than pepperami, none of these baits I have used before, so it will all be a first for me. But the reason for the tights is because I need to wrap some of those softer baits in that and tie them off with some floss. I did actually go in hunt for some Ara mesh, something like that, a dedicated mesh which is for softer baits for fishing. Unfortunately, my tackle shop was out of stock, so I had to go for a old school alternative of tights, hence going for the nude ankle high tights. I guess everything up to speed of what today's going to be about, how I'm going to go about it and test which baits still can catch fish. But of course, I'm going to have one rod out with a boilie, and I keep on seeing fish show behind me. So I'm going to start off with one of my go-tos. This is what I'd normally fish. The rig is kept exactly the same on all of them. It's a dead simple hair rig. There's no trapping of the hair on the shank, no kicker, just a bit of putty where I strip the coating back for that little bit of hinge aspect of it, straight to a tail rubber, and then onto a lead clip setup. So the setup itself of rigs is as simple as possible you can get, really. And then I'm going to start with, I think we'll go with the pepperami, just because that is a popular hook bait choice. And the other one, we'll see if they float, but I'm going to try the cannellini bean. Oh, really? You are joking.
You're joking.
I don't have a can opener with me. So far, score -1 for supermarket baits. Right. Cannellini beans. Oh, I'll pick that up, don't worry. Cannellini beans may have to be a bit later. I want to find a way of getting into this. Let's switch this out for prawn. I actually don't know how you're supposed to hook on a prawn, but I've just gone through each one of them twice. Because they're quite soft, I'm actually using a stick as a hair stop, so there's a bit more purchase area on the bottom prawn, hopefully keep it from falling off. And as I said, I'm casting a really short distance, so it should stay on. Let's have some fun. First things first, a little bit more bait, just in case there is fish in the area. First up, boilie. Bring it back. Prawn. Pepperami. Oh, it's come off. Oh, it's come off as well. After 2 drop fish on the bounce, I've decided to make a change to the rigs. 1 drop fish, fair enough. 2 on the bounce on a rig that I don't typically use suggests there's something wrong. This is what I would normally use, just having a bit of shrink tubing, 1 trap in the hair, and 1 as a kicker on the eye. That's the only change I'm making to this rig because it makes it a bit more aggressive. That hook will flip round. I'm going to try this, and hopefully that's the last of the drop fish. I will get that one out in a second. I usually bring more than 1 net and I didn't today. That's known as a common carp because all its scales are regular. Not a problem. So there we are. Saying hello, hello.
What's your YouTube thing?
It's called Nothing But Fishing. So it's spelt with 2 F's because I made it when I was 13. So nothing but fishing. And the West Country sound, so yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Lovely, thank you. No problem. Have a good day. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a wet one. Well, it's just making the changes to the rig. And I recast the prawn on with the one with shrink tubing on. And that's actually gone off with a small common, which I've just slipped back because it was virtually a double take. I had some people watching, so I slipped the smaller one back. I'll put this one down a second. So I've now had 1 on prawn and 1 on pepperami, but that's 2 bites on prawn, 1 bite on pepperami and 1 bite on boilie. Of course, I've dropped 2 fish, but the first 2 landed, and it's a lovely way to get off the mark. So we've ticked off prawn. Time to move over to the beans, which I have managed to get into the can. Oh, there we go. It's a little bit hairy getting into them, but the rain is here as well, so it's all systems go. I'm getting wet, the rods are going left, right and centre, but it's good fun. I think I've discovered why the carp are enjoying this fresh vegetation so much, because if you go just below the surface and pull up, you'll discover that it's actually holy water. Get it? Holy water. Now, I've been drinking Holy for well over a year, whether that's the energy drinks, the hydrations, the iced teas, or the milkshakes. There are so many different flavours to choose from. It makes water a bit more interesting. This session alone, I'm on my 3rd pint of water, whereas if it wasn't flavoured, I wouldn't be drinking at all. I'm terrible for it, so having stuff like this helps me get liquid in me that's good for me, but also if it's energy, it gives me that boost I need. But if the bright yellow shaker with SpongeBob on it didn't give it away already, there's a new flavour from SpongeBob. Well, Patrick to be precise. Now, if you haven't heard of Holy before, they're mainly known for their energy drinks which have no sugar, no taurine and no artificial colours or flavouring. It's just clean energy that don't leave you feeling rubbish afterwards. Now, Holy dropped the SpongeBob's juicy pineapple and green tea a while ago, and as you can see, I'm making my way through it, but they've just dropped Patrick's starfruit and hibiscus iced tea, both of which are proper refreshing, especially after long days on the bank. If you want to try them out, you can grab the starter set trio. That's without the energy, but with a milkshake trial box instead, and the plastic shaker for just $49.99. Or, if you're like me and want to go all in, you can upgrade to a SpongeBob or Patrick Thermo shaker for just £15 extra. So if you fancy giving Holy a try, then make sure you click the link in the description or the pinned comment and use my codes for a saving. Code MBF5 will give you £5 off your first order, and code MBF will give you 10% off all orders after that. Cheers, Holy. Holy water. Brilliant. When I returned that fish, the heavens absolutely opened. I didn't have a rod in the water because after the double take, there's some people watching. I wanted to show them a fish. I didn't want a live rod still in the water, so I whipped that one back in, dealt with the fish, put it back, and it just lashed it down for the last half an hour or so. I didn't bring a shelter. I did bring a coat, but that was used to cover all the camera kit, so I am soaked right through, to be honest, but it did give me time to prep all the rigs, so they've all got tubing on them now, and the rigs ready to go out and now have pepperami on one, prawn again on the other, so 2 of those are going back out, and the last rod is going to be the cannellini beans. Now, I know that normal conventional baits will do bites. I've had a bite on it this morning, although I didn't catch it, I've had a run. Let's switch now to all alternative supermarket baits, and once I've got one on one of those, I am going to start using the cat food, the tuna, which is garlic and hot garlic and something or other, and the anchovies, all of which are going to be messy to make, and I need to use those tights. And this is a sentence I never thought I'd say in a fishing video or at any time. My tights are soaking wet. Anyway, time to get the rods out. That's a cracking bite, and this is on the cannellini beans. I recast it because when I cast it before, I wasn't happy with the first drop. When I recast it, I saw one of the beans had already come off, so they're very soft bait. So I wound them in 5 minutes ago, put out a fresh rig of 3 beans and made sure I hit the water as delicately as possible. And this can't have been out more than a couple of minutes. I was just about to redo the prawn rod, and the cannellini beans are away. Absolutely rip intake, and good fun playing them out here. And the waders, there's absolutely no way you'd be able to fish this swim without waders, because you have to come out to the fish to get them safely. But it does mean that you're fighting right above them in quite deep water here, and they give a good old scrap. He's just going around the very front of this vegetation. I'm not even sure what it is. It comes off quite easily. It's quite sparse here, so it's safe, but towards the bank it's really quite dense, and if you can see to my right, it's just solid over there. So this really is the last fishable swim on this bank, and I think they're enjoying being in the shallower water. But with the rain we're having today and the wind cutting across, oh, he's trying to get through that left rod. I think they're still willing to get their heads down, even in what, 21, 22 degree weather. haven't actually seen it properly yet. He's putting up a good scrap. We've still got just the pepperami rod of fishing for us at the moment, because I was about to redo the prawn when this one went off. There he is. Oh, it's a nice fish. Nice mirror. It's getting through this little gap. Oh, it's beautiful. And he's in. Beautiful scaly mirror. Oh. Oh. This is great fun fishing. Alternative baits, but not only that, I know this is practical, but it doesn't have to look cool when your rod's hooping over on a take. Oh, I didn't have time to get the fish out. I literally hadn't had time to deal with this fish. We'll weigh again. What I've often experienced at this place is that they come across you in big groups, and you can often get 2 or 3 bites in quick succession, and that's happened a couple of times today. So I've got a lovely mirror in there, and whatever this is, which is on pepperami. Once this is in, and I'll whip the 3rd rod in, deal with these 2 fish, and then we'll put out 3 brand new hook baits, all which need tying up with the tights. That's going to be messy and fun. Nice. Whew. 2 scaly mirrors in the net. Well, what a mad 5 minutes or so that was. I recast the cannellini rod because I was pretty sure the hook bait came off on the first cast, and my fears were confirmed because bringing it in there was nothing on the end. So I redid that one and made sure that it landed on the water as delicately as possible. Because they're quite a soft bait, which is one of the downsides of the cannellini beans, I had to make sure I hit the water nicely, and within a few minutes that rod was away. Once that one was in the net, rested, unhooked, got the camera ready to film it, the pepperami rod belted off. So I've got 2 in the same net right now, in the margin, as you can tell, very, very wriggly. I'll try and show you, but this one is being rather boisterous, and I think this is actually the smaller of the 2, but they are peas in a pod, beautiful scaly mirrors, and he's going to beat me up a good one. So it may be a rather brief glance at this fish, and that is bite number 1 on the cannellini bean. Lovely, lovely mirror. All been mirrors bar 1 today, which typically up here I get a lot of the smaller commons. That is very, very welcome. I get a still from the camera. I don't think I have time to take stills properly, so say cheese. And say cheese again. That is fish number 1. He is ready to go back, as you saw. So slip that one back to the side of me. Off he goes. And then the second one was on the pepperami. It's worth noting I don't have a rod in the water at the moment while I deal with these fish, because with them behaving like this, shall we say, it's going to be quite difficult to try and land another fish with 1 net. So hindsight's a wonderful thing. Should have bought more than 1 net. And I think you'll agree, they are peas in a pod. Equally beautiful mirror. I swear I haven't just picked up the same fish, and this was on the pepperami, or it may have been the other way around. I'm not entirely sure. Hard to keep track when they look so similar in the net. But a lovely, lovely fish. Let's keep him that way before he gets me soaked as well. Let's try and get a still of this one from the camera. And there. And we're spinning round, ready to go back. Show you the other side, because they are beautiful fish. It just goes to show that on a lake this size, you don't have to fish far out. Just chucking baits in loosely and flicking the other side of the rather new feature of this lake. But we're getting some beautiful fish and some cracking action. Thank you, mister. Let's get you back. And now it's time to get really messy and tie up 3 new hook baits: anchovies, tuna, and cat food. I'm not looking forward to this bit, but it's got to be done. That lens is covered in water as well. Apologies. I couldn't resist. The pepperami rod still had a hook bait on, so I've just pinged that out, and a scattering of boilies around the same area that I've been doing all day. And it's a method that seems to be working quite well. I'm not baiting accurately. I'm literally just hoofing in a big arc in front of the swim and putting 3 rods on it, just the other side of all this greenery, really. So for a lake this size, where a lot of people, even on this session, and I do it a lot when I'm up here as well, are all going sort of to the midway point, spomming on the top, where I'm fishing quite close in. And you've seen I've been netting the fish in the waders up to here, so it's plenty deep enough, and they're patrolling around this grassy bit, I'm sure, and just reaching me where all the bait is and having a good old munch. But now we need to tie up some fresh hook baits, which, as I mentioned already, is cat food, John West tuna infusion with the, what was it again, chili and garlic, and anchovies. Now, I was going to try and get the armour mesh, I think it is. I think Fox do it. Oh, that is a bite. Excuse me. Ah, right. Once I've got this one in, I won't put a rod out until I've done the baits. Hard to resist. And for anyone that's followed me for a while, you know that one of my recent ailments I'm battling with is tennis elbow. And yes, it is absolutely killing me today, but fishing's good fun. I want to put videos out every single week, so we'll push through the pain barrier and deal with it later. How big do you think it is? This big or bigger?
How big do you think it is?
Big, that big? Oh. Not bad size. Should we put it? Do you want to see it go back? Ooh. There you go, and you think, why on earth do you bother doing that? That looks like boring fun. Not a problem. Enjoy your walk. You know full well this is going back out. That's one of the things I love about this place as well, is public interaction, showing kids their first ever fish. Who knows who it might spark into a new passion. Let's just pin this back out quickly. Nice and close. Donk. I couldn't resist. You had to put it back out. And I put it out again as well, so that could happen again, who knows. I completely forgot what I was saying, but the idea of this is going to hold the rather mushy, disgusting baits I'm about to put in them. So I'm not sure whether I spread the tights like that. There's a lot of sound bites you want to take from this video, I'm sure. Push the load in and then tie it off with the floss. I guess that's all we can do. Yeah, I'm going to put it into the corner, I think. Tie it off with some floss and see if we can resemble something that looks like a hook bait. I don't have much confidence. I'm going to trim it down to start with, just to make it a bit easier. Cut out the tights. Let's start with the tuna, the least disgusting one of the baits we're about to use, because I actually love tuna, although my wife seems to think it's cat food. I absolutely love it. Ooh, not sure about the chili. Oh, we got another bite. That's been out there about 2 minutes. Lovely common. Pop that up. Do you fish at all, or? Ah, okay, so they've seen them before then. I didn't know if they hadn't seen one before.
Is that a salmon?
Carp. It's called a CommonCarp. Quite a small one as well, but quite a lot of them like this in here, so yeah. Yeah, nice. Here's a nice looking fish. Right, does it doggle proofs? Back he goes. I can't help it. I had to go back out. Even the hook point is slightly dinked. I've just sort of pried it back with my nail. I just put it back out because you never know what the next fish might be. Right, the tights are now cut to size. Let's go with the tuna, which I think I got as far as that, didn't I? Sniffing it. How much to put in and what to use. Fingers, let's go over. It's going to get messy. Put in a good dollop of it. I feel like I'm going to be a fish just rolled on the spot as well. I feel like I'm going to be crab fishing. Oh, it stinks. I mean, I went for nude tights because I thought they'd be see-through, but that's just a blob with scent. It smells to high heaven, mind, so I guess it's doing its job there. We're getting all the tuna juices coming out. All right, I think this is the best thing I'm going to do. Where's my floss? There it is. All right, here's the bit I wasn't really sure. I think I'm just going to, if you can't tie a knot type thing, tie a lot. Oh, fishy tights in the mouth. What do you like? I literally have not got a clue what I'm doing. So don't watch this thinking, oh yeah. He knows what he's doing. Well, I don't think anyone's ever watched my videos and thought he knows what he's doing. But hey ho. Okay. I mean, that looks like absolute poo, should we say. I'm not going to beep it, I'll just use a better word. But I guess that's as good as I'm going to get. I mean, what is that? I guess bait-wise, you're looking like a 20mm bottom bait right there, but if you had smell-o-vision, that does absolutely pong. And the way the session's going, I'm pretty sure I will get a bite on that. It's quite firm, so it's a good consistency, shall we say. Oh, that absolutely stinks. So smell-wise, I think that's a really, really good option. I don't think this is the best for actually wrapping baits, but like I said, I may do with what I could get. And I've got some rather garlicky smelling tights right there. What a treat. On to the next one. Let's try and tie up cat food. Oh, it stinks. Don't know what I was expecting, sniffing cat food. Let's use a stick as a spoon. Today is all about alternatives, isn't it? I hope the Carp Light Purina is premium. Oh, this is so grim. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. It isn't a good idea. Simple as. This is awful. I'm going to try and tie an overhand loop knot rather than floss, because this one is proper slimy and messy. They are for your entertainment. My hands covered in cat food, but it stinks. It's grim, and Carp love things that are stinky and grim, so I'm sure that will do a bite as well. I'm going to go wash my hands before getting onto the anchovies. Again, just another fishy thing. I guess it's fairly similar to... God, that's a tough old lid. Maybe it's just because I can't put these force into my elbow, but they're in oil, so they'll make a nice slick on the water, I'm sure. You can eat these straight out of the tin, can't you? I'm not going to. I'm not the biggest fish fan as it is, but I'm not sure what I think of that. But time to stick it into some tights. I would say that is the best of the three. Nice and solid. Fishy, but more than that, it's really, really salty. Oh, that is not for me at all. Right, so we've now got cat food, tuna and anchovies wrapped up in tights. Time to put them on the hair. Taking the pepperami rod, which I'm surprised has not gone off again. Fresh bait out there, fresh spread of boilie, and see which one of these three goes off first. And I won't be happy until I've caught on all of the alternative baits I've brought with me today. Rather frustratingly, none of the rods have gone off in the last hour and a half since they went out, and I'm quite surprised because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fish still out there. But the only way to test that is to put a winning hook bait back on one of them. So I'm going to bring one of them in, which is going to be the cat food rod, because out of the 3 bags I made and the choice of baits, that's the one I have the least confidence in. It's not really a hook bait choice I think many people are going to try. It was something for the video, but I'm sure it would do a bite if I gave it long enough. But the fact that none of them have gone off, I'm going to bring one in and put on a winning hook bait, which has done several bites already today, which is the pepperami. If I still don't get any bites then, it kind of suggests that there's no fish in the area, but it should give me a good indication of whether there's fish there and they're choosing not to have these hook baits, or if there's no fish there at all. So catfish rod in, cat food rod in, pepperami out, a bit more bait out there, and I've got a couple hours left of the session, and hopefully we can get something on one of the alternative hook baits which are left. It'd be good to get something on the tights, because it was a lot of effort making them. It's stinky, messy, and it's something a bit unique that they've probably not seen before, but we'll see. Let's bring the catfish rod in. Cat food, not catfish. Out went the pepperami and off went one of the rods. So I was pretty confident there was still fish in the area. The only other difference I've done, or other change I've made, sorry, is that I've brought all 3 of them back in and put all 3 of them back out closer in, because I think they're actually slightly shallower than where I was fishing, and some of the bait that I was chucking in earlier dropped shorter than where I was fishing. So all 3 went back out not that long ago, and it didn't take long for this one to go off, but it did go on the pepperami rod. So what does that mean? Does that mean that they're not going to take the tuna and the, what was the other one? Anchovies? I don't know. Both of those are still back out, along with the pepperami rod. But it does seem that pepperami is a winner. Out of the baits I brought with me today, I was confident that was going to do the most bites, but I'm still happy I've caught on the cannellini, and there's still some time ahead, so we are not done yet. But it does seem that the pepperami seems to be the winner so far. Back you go, buddy. Let's try and get one on the tights. I've just done one final recast of all 3 rods because I can still see this fish in the area, and I do think there's still a bite to be had, but I've just checked the time and I've massively overrun. I've completely missed tea time with the family, probably going to miss bed routine, and the last thing I don't want to miss is kick off at 7:45. Not that that's the priority, but I've run out of time. I need to bring the rods in and get on home. Fulham tonight in the Carabao Cup. If you don't know the channel, I'm a Bristol City fan for my sins. I've never got that saying either, for my sins. Anyway, I'm waffling. It's been a great day. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope this has shown you that you can use alternative baits. Unfortunately, I didn't have anything on the catfish, cat food, not catfish, the cat food, the anchovies and the tuna. That could be down to the fact that I was using tights, which said it had added aloe vera. That's not the best, is it? But maybe if I was using the dedicated stuff like the armor mesh or something similar, or maybe different baits. Let me know what alternative baits you've used from the supermarket. I did look at chickpeas as well. I know that's another good one, but I didn't bring them. I thought the cannellini beans is probably the most surprising one today. I think it's purely down to the fact that it's white visual, and it's just carp are inquisitive. They want to see what they're feeding on. Something else just rolled right in front of me, so there is still a chance of a bite. But who knows. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know in the comment section below what alternative baits you've used in the past, or what you think would work quite well. And if you like this sort of video, let me know other ideas of videos in the future. If you're not subscribed as well, please do. I'm trying to hit 50k this year, and at the moment I'm at about 47,500, so very, very close, but not quite at the 50k. Right, I do need to pack up and go, because otherwise I'm going to be in the doghouse. See you in the next one.